I think you love to be manipulated, and I'm going to prove it to you in today's video. We're talking about why do we love to root for manipulative protagonists. And this idea came about after watching Marty Supreme. It had me thinking, ultimately, Marty Supreme is not a nice guy. He has a single goal and a single obsession to be the best, to win, to dominate. And he doesn't really care who it affects in any realm of his life, personal, professional, friendships, relationships, it doesn't matter. He will do whatever it takes to win. And it's interesting because that mentality, that philosophy has been romanticized as of late, whether it be in other movies like Good Time, The Nightcrawler, and even in movies in years past, like say Catch Me If You Can about Frank Abagnale. Like the psychology of this guy who is a criminal, let's not get two ways around it, he's a criminal, but he will do whatever it takes to win, to have what he wants, and a small part of us respects that. And that's kind of the first point I want to really talk about today. I want to talk about why is it that we respect a little bit about these manipulative protagonists. And I think my first point comes around the aspect of the do whatever it takes to win mentality, and that deep down a lot of us think that we share the mentality and hope that we resemble parts of it. We accept that it's a bad trait to have, but it's something you can respect, the obsession to win. And you see it all the time with characters who are objectively bad people being romanticized and becoming like a figure, a role model in the lore of the internet. Look at people like Jordan Belfort, right? Or Patrick Bateman. These are bad people, but they have become entire personalities. People who don't care about anything other than money and dominating and winning, and people who don't care about anything other than looking good, hence looks maxing. And that pursuit of perfectionism is something that is really personified in all across media today. Being perfect is kind of like, that's a really admirable goal to a lot of people, and that's why to an extent we like being manipulated by these manipulative protagonists, because we want to kind of be like them in a sense. And I think that's a dark thing to say, to assume that everybody wants to be manipulative, because I don't think it's a conscientious thing. I think that we want to win, and when we see these people do whatever it takes, even if it's destroying personal relationships, take for example Whiplash, there's a part of us who respects the pursuit of greatness. And I think it's a pretty interesting psychology, and that leads me to my next point, right, is that we always love a bad boy. And I hate saying that out loud, it made me cringe even saying it, but I was thinking about it, and I was talking to my wife about this, about Superman, right? Everybody loves Superman, everybody likes Superman, but can you think of anybody who would really honestly tell you that their favorite superhero is Superman? I can't. It's not that he's got any bad qualities or any bad traits, and there's probably lots of things you do like about him, but he's nobody's favorite, right? And when you think of the last 15-20 years, there's superheroes like Iron Man who's become such a big part of the love and the draw of people because of Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of Tony Stark. That kind of cocky, arrogant, we've all seen the billionaire philanthropist, that whole scene, right? The point is that a part of us respects that he is so confidently himself, that he is not shy about his successes, but also has that kind of moral compass of he is trying to do the right thing. Like, we respect that psychology, right? And that little bit of arrogance, that little bit of charm, that wit, it's attractive. And we see it across all over sports, whether it's music, whatever, we respect it. It's for kind of the I say backlash, but the criticism of Timothée Chalamet when he did the award speech about saying he's in the pursuit of greatness. Nobody, like, a lot of people wanted to make it out like that was a bad thing to say, but the reality is everybody respected it. He is in the pursuit of greatness. And that's why, similar to liking and loving Tony Stark as a favorite character is more likely to happen than thinking Superman is a favorite character, is because we like complexity. We like people who will do whatever it takes to win. And then I think the other example where I see this in is in Succession, when we look at characters like Tom and Greg. Tom and Greg perfectly personify what I'm saying about this manipulation to win, to survive, and being respected and admired to an extent about it. We're in no denial that these guys are bad guys. They are willing to put families against each other, they're willing to manipulate their surroundings, put siblings against each other, pick sides in wars, blackmail. I mean, we see Greg do this throughout the whole show, we see Tom do this throughout the whole show, but those two are the ones left standing, and those two are the ones left winning when the show ends. And that's a credit to them. That's why they are kind of liked. They are used initially as characters to kind of be a lens into like what normal people feel like. I feel like that's the whole point of Tom and Greg, because they're not from this billionaire class. They're almost used as vehicles to like, oh, that's what a normal person would do. But they aren't normal people. I mean, Greg is going to inherit 500 million at one point in the show, and Tom has been rich for a long time. But because they're not from there, like, they kind of use as a vehicle for us to relate to it. And we see them do whatever it takes to survive. And that survival component through the route of manipulation almost absolves them of their bad traits. And by bad traits, I mean being actual bad people, because they are actual bad people. But a part of us respects that the ones left standing were the guys who were supposed to be, you know, who were projected as us as the normal people, right? The commoners are the ones left surviving, because those are the ones who are able to manipulate, hustle, grind, work their way to the top, and they win. And this psychology I just find fascinating, because the more and more I think about it, these are the characters we like the most. Even in shows like The Ozark with Marty Bird, right? Like, it's the same psychology. This survival through the route of manipulation. It's a fascinating philosophy, and something I would love to explore deeper. Like, the philosophy of manipulation being seen as attractive and also being seen as a positive trait, despite the audience accepting, but it's a bad guy, it's a bad person. It's fascinating, right? It's almost like, you know, the victors write history kind of philosophy. You know, winners win and they get to dictate the terms of history. So ultimately, if that manipulative person ends up being the guy at the top, they rewrite it as they grinded and they hustled. It's not going to be looked as they were terrible people who manipulated their way to the top of the crown. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this discussion around this sort of philosophy, this is what I do on this channel. I like to spend time thinking about these abstract philosophies, concepts, theories I have around certain feelings that viewers may have, and how it speaks to society, you know, larger, whether it be, you know, through philosophy, economics, sociology, whatever it may be. That's the kind of stuff I want to talk about on this channel. It's really nerdy, it's really niche. If you do like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And yeah, please like, please subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video. On to the next one.